The slap didn't hurt, not in the way they expected. It landed sharp and loud, my head snapping sideways under the chandelier's light. The room went still, forks frozen mid-air, champagne flutes trembling in hands. Then came his fist in my hair, yanking me toward the door. My heels scraped across the marble. Guests shifted uncomfortably, but no one moved. At the threshold, he shoved me so hard I stumbled into the night air. Behind me, laughter. Slow, deliberate clapping. My brother's voice, clear and venomous. You had it coming. Before, people assume family is a safe place. Mine was a boardroom. Alliances, power plays, silent threats. My father was the king. My brother, the heir. Me? I was tolerated as long as I stayed useful. And for years I was. I ran the numbers for the family business, cleaned up PR messes, made problems vanish quietly. My father praised my efficiency in private, but never publicly. Credit always went to my brother. It didn't bother me, not at first. I thought loyalty mattered more than recognition. I was wrong. The breaking point. 2 weeks before that night, I'd caught the first crack. A supplier account in my name, one I never opened, draining funds into an offshore entity. The paperwork bore my signature, forged. When I confronted my father in his office, he leaned back in his chair, smirking. "You're overreacting. It's just bookkeeping." I knew it wasn't. It was laundering, and my name was the shield. When I said I was going to the authorities, he didn't argue. He just looked at me with a kind of bored certainty, like a man watching a fly buzz against a window, knowing it would tire and fall. The party. It was my brother's promotion dinner. 73 guests, executives, investors, politicians. Every person who mattered to them under one roof. I was at the far end of the table, boxed in by people who wouldn't meet my eyes. Halfway through the speeches, my father stood and, in front of everyone, accused me of sabotaging the company. Said I'd been mismanaging funds. I laughed. Quiet, unshaken. That's when he walked over, slapped me, and dragged me out. Theaters, a public execution. The applause from my brother was the final signature on a sentence they thought they'd written for me. The shift. I didn't cry, didn't scream. I drove home, locked my door, and poured a glass of water. Then I picked up my phone. One call, to the only person I trusted more than myself, a forensic accountant I'd once saved from bankruptcy by killing a lawsuit against him. "I need you to open a file," I said. His voice didn't even hesitate. "Send me everything." The plan. I'd been documenting for months. Every falsified ledger, every offshore transfer, every shell corporation hidden behind a P.O. box in a country with no extradition treaty. But it wasn't enough to have evidence. I needed timing, impact. The kill had to be public, undeniable, and immediate. So we built the package. Financial crimes dossier, evidence of bribery, insider trading, asset concealment, even photos, my brother with a mistress who happened to be the wife of a city councilman. And we lined up the dominoes. The tax bureau, the anti-corruption task force, 3 major news outlets, all set to receive the file at 4 a.m. sharp. The execution. When the clock struck 3:59, I hit send. At 4:02, my accountant texted, "It's live." By 4:10, journalists were calling for comment. By 4:30, the task force had seized the company's servers. By 5:15, my brother's face was on the front page of every business feed, next to headlines that used words like fraud and racketeering. By sunrise, bank accounts were frozen, properties flagged, deals dead. Everything they built, gone. The confrontation. I didn't wait for them to call. I went back to the estate at 7 a.m., just as the first black SUVs pulled into the driveway. Agents with folders and warrants swarmed the house. My father stood on the porch in a robe, shouting at them. My brother was pale, phone glued to his ear, already realizing no one was picking up. When my father saw me, his voice dropped to a low growl. "You." I stepped closer, keeping my tone calm. "You slapped me in front of 73 people," I said. "Dragged me by my hair. Accused me of crimes you committed. You used my name to shield yours." He took a step forward. I didn't move. "I'm your father," he said, as if the word itself was an argument. "No," I said. "You're just a man who underestimated the wrong daughter." The fall. They tried to fight it, claimed the evidence was fake. But the paper trail was airtight, and I'd made sure to leave copies in more hands than they could intimidate. Investors pulled out within days. The board voted to dissolve the company rather than weather the storm. My brother's promotion? Rescinded. His name now floated in every article about white-collar corruption in the city.